My name is Gracelove. I'm an accountant and I also run a little fashion business. I am a first-time mom of a 6-month-old. So I'm one of those people, I'm very particular about my cycle. I have an app that tracks everything, and for a few days I noticed that it kept popping up for me to start recording, but then I hadn't seen my period coming yet. So after a few days, or I think about a little over a week, I was like, okay, I should do a test just to be sure. So I was driving home one day, I just went to a pharmacy, bought a test, went home, did a pregnancy test, and then it came out positive. It was very exciting for me. And it was after that I actually noticed that there were other signs, because of course then you go to Google and start to read things. I saw that there were other signs that I had been experiencing, but then I had no idea. The feeling of having another person growing inside of you. Even before I started feeling the kicks and the little movements and everything, it was just a nice, comforting feeling to, touch your belly and know that there's someone in there. And when the kicks and the rolls and everything started coming, that was even more beautiful. One of them was people understanding me and understanding my experience. There's a lot of people who have gone through the whole pregnancy experience, and people tend to relate to you based on their experience. But then everyone's experience is different. That was one of the things for me. And I'm generally not a very emotional person, but during the times of pregnancy, I was very emotional. So the little things that I wouldn't have taken offense of, I would take offense of now. And people will be trying to help, but then it doesn't come across to me as help because I'm expecting something different. And then also finding out that something that I used to like to eat before right now is totally like a taboo for me, because it doesn't sit well for me. That was hard. My experience is very interesting. I actually just went to the hospital one day. I wasn't due. I went to the hospital one day and I was totally fine. And I should say this, I read a lot about being pregnancy, the things you go through, the experiences, some of the risk factors that can happen. You never expect something like that to happen to you. So I just went to the hospital one day for a routine checkup, and then my blood pressure was through the roof. I was like, hey, what is this? So yes, the doctor recommended that you have to have baby within the next day. And I was like, what? So yes, that's how I walked into my labor day. So we started the whole process, and the next day I started labor, I think in the morning around 7 a.m. Yes, I used to have very, very bad cramps, menstrual cramps. My menstrual cramps were very bad. So I guess I was contraction, but then to me it felt like menstrual cramps. So I asked the nurse one of the times, so are these what I should be expecting? Because it was just menstrual cramps. And you're like, oh yeah, people experience it differently. So I think around getting to 4 o'clock, and then I was getting menstrual cramps, but this was different level. So my husband was seated there, and then I take pain very well. I know I take pain very well. I won't scream because I'm not emotional. I won't scream, I won't cry out. But then I was crying out. So he knew that this was serious. So I called the nurse. I remember that nurse's name, Molly. Because I called her so many times. I called her and then I told her that I know I wanted an epidural. I think this is the time for it. So she should check, because they hadn't checked dilation for a while. So I told her she should check. And then she was so calm. She said, okay, she's going to get a daughter. She was so calm, and then she went out. I think it was just a few, frankly, the timing is even basa, because I don't even know if it was a few minutes or it took a while. But then I called her again just after she stepped out. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? I feel a lot of pressure. She's like, no, relax, calm down, don't push. I'm like, relax, like how am I supposed to be relaxing in all of this? Too much pressure. That's because that's all I remember about it. I remember that it was very serious pressure. There was a point where I was thinking to myself, dear Lord, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? No, seriously, at a point I was like, dear Lord, can I do this? Because I was like, I just imagined in my mind how, I know people give birth. I mean, my mother had me. But I just imagined how a head was going to pop out. At that point, I just couldn't, I don't even know how to explain it, but my mind was all over. But yeah, it was a very, very interesting experience. So when they came in, the doctors came and everything, and then they were like, oh, I'm like 9.5, so no need for the epidural and then everything. So, but then I shouldn't push yet. Calm down, they walk you through the process, blah, blah, blah. A lot of things that they said. So my water didn't break. It was at a point where I think after they checked my dilation during that whole process, and then the doctor told me that, okay, so now we are going to break your water. And then I think they did something and then it gushed out like that. But yeah, so it wasn't like how in the movies. I was thinking that would happen where I'm in town and then the water breaks like, but no, that didn't happen for me. But I just remember counting. Say, okay, we'll count 1, 2, 3. On 3, then you push. I remember that part, but I don't remember the details and all of those things. And I remember my husband saying, you're doing so well. You're doing so well. And I was thinking I didn't say anything, so I was thinking to myself, dude, shut up. I'm not feeling any baby head coming out or anything. I remember I said to myself, dear Lord, give me the strength to do this. Because at a point, I really didn't think I could do it. I seriously didn't think I could do it. After labor, after I had a baby, and then I realized that, wow. So I was actually, during that process, there were 2 young doctors. One gentleman standing on my left, one gentleman on my right, holding my legs up like this. And I was pushing the baby out. So when I saw my baby for the first time, it was so beautiful. They just put her on me, and then I saw her, I just started crying. And then I said, you had to come out looking like your dad. Because she came in and yes, I just saw her face. But it was so beautiful. I don't think I will ever forget that particular moment. I did not remember any of the pain. Seriously, I did not. After that process, after all of that, doctors left, and then I felt, there was still a bit of pain and everything. But at that point, I seriously didn't remember. They were doing a bit of stitches and everything. I did not feel anything. I was just in the moment with my baby. I was crying. I was so happy. I don't think I felt that joy and peace before about anything, frankly. If you have a baby, your life would never be the same. I don't even know where to start with the adjustments. Everything, the time I sleep, even when I'm watching like a movie or something on TV. That's one particular, I was thinking about it recently. If I'm watching a movie or something and then it's getting to her bedtime, it's over for me. Even with certain things I want to do, I'm trying to limit screen time for her, so I have to limit it for myself at some point. With my sleep, you sacrifice all of that. With clothes that you wear, I can't go wearing anything because if I'm in town and then she has to breastfeed, then I get stranded if I'm wearing something that is not easy for me to do that. Time spent with friends, going out, all of those things. Everything, basically. Before I even had a baby, I'm one of those people who the tiny baby there forgets. But then I bath the baby now. Now she wiggles even when I'm bathing her. She turns around when she's all slippery. And I'm like, hey, madam. But then I'm able to handle all of that. It's surprising. I sit at times and I think about all of these things and I'm like, wow, I've come far by God's grace. I have gone to Google a lot of times. My mom has been so supportive through this. I go to her ask her about a lot of things. I go to Google. I ask a few friends that I know have had babies that I can learn from, and I basically, balance all of them. So many times I've wondered, what am I doing? So many times I've probably woken up in the night, looked at baby sleeping, and I'm like, hey, what's all this? Am I doing this right? Even spending time with her, because I go to work and then I leave her, and during these times even I spend a lot of time with her during the day, and I wonder if I'm doing enough activity with her. Is she progressing as she should? Should I be doing more tummy time? Shouldn't she be doing all of those things? So many times I'm not quite sure of what I'm doing, but yeah, we keep going. I haven't changed much. I mean, people see me and then they're like, did you have a baby recently? I haven't changed because they just see I'm still slim and everything. But then I know my body. I know my body has changed. My body has changed. I still weigh the same and everything. But then I know how my body has changed, and my body definitely has changed. Sleep. Frankly, I'm not even sure what that is anymore. I'm not quite sure what that is anymore. Previously, I'm one of those people who can take long naps. My mom always says that. I got that from my dad. We can take long naps. We can sleep around 11 a.m., wake up at 5 p.m., go back to sleep around like 8 and sleep through the night. But then, right now, I think since I had my baby, the longest stretch I have slept is 3.5 hours. That's the longest stretch I have slept. I probably, will be up like another hour, get some hour too, but then I haven't slept anything longer than 3.5 hours, like 6 hours sleep straight. No. And people will tell you, oh, when baby sleeps, try to get some sleep. It's definitely good if you can do that. I can't do that when my baby has a nap during the afternoon. I'm trying to figure out homemade baby food. I'm trying to store food for the house, preferably for ourselves. I'm trying to put her things together. I'm trying to put together designs for my business as well. I'm trying to organize clothes. I'm trying to at least be on my phone and go on Instagram as well. I'm trying to catch up on a movie or try to see if I can finish a book or something. At times, I'm also just looking at her sleep. I realized that my mom used to be up a lot of the times around like 2, 3 a.m. praying all through the night. And I used to wonder, why doesn't this woman sleep? And I realized that she probably doesn't know how to sleep anymore because she has become used to not having enough sleep. I actually enjoy breastfeeding. I feel like I have a bit of a bond with my baby when I breastfeed her. And it's interesting, the first time she came out and then she went on my chest, she just started suckling. I was like, hey, this baby. Seriously, I was so happy about that. Even though she came, before the 40 weeks, she just started suckling. I like breastfeeding. I feel like it's a bond that we have. So every time I'm breastfeeding, I'm happy. Even though recent times, because she's getting older, it's not as easy as it was at first. And I express because I have to go to work. I started expressing even before I started going to work because I had to store ahead of time. I don't enjoy that process. The pumping, I don't enjoy, but I have to do. And I remember when I started going to work, the first day, I had planned, per what Google said, and the doctor said she probably take this ounces. This girl, my calculation wasn't going to work. Then I had to try and figure out how to catch up and everything. I think that first week was very hard for me because I really had to figure out about expressing additional, just to make sure that she had excess because she was just finishing up all the stock that I had since months before. I definitely have surprised myself with my ability to multitask in particular. Having your baby at your back, that's one thing. I think in the beginning, I told my mom, I wasn't so sure about putting her on my back because her neck, blah, blah. Right now, that's the go-to thing. I'm a pro. Yeah, because you get to do other things. Even with my being able to go without sleep, I never thought it was going to be possible with me because I thrive on sleep. Seriously, I thrive. I need sleep. I still need sleep. But then I wake up in the morning when I have to go to work and I don't have enough sleep and I still go through the day. And at the end of the day, I come and then do it all over again. So I've resumed work about 2 months ago. I remember the first day I left my baby to go to work. Oh, it was so hard. It was so hard. When I got to the office, I called my mom. How's she doing? And she's like, relax, just go through the day. She's doing well. But then it wasn't my mind. I'll just go on my phone and her picture is also my screensaver. And then I look at it and then I'm like, oh, my baby. But it was still a good experience for me, even though I love my baby so much. It was actually good. It felt good to be about 5 hours away for her for that day. It wasn't easy the first week because during lunchtime I had to go and then sit in my car or find somewhere and then express, and just to make sure I'm keeping up to date with all of the milk I have to leave and everything. So I think I worked for a few weeks before the lockdown started. I was glad that happened because frankly I would have broken down by now. I think a few days before I had my baby, I went shopping with my sister-in-law, and then I saw these cute bags and I thought, oh, I like this bag, and she's like, madam, you won't be using these bags for at least a year. What you need is this, and she pointed to a diaper bag. So I learned a lot from her with the packing the diaper. If you have to go out, I always make sure my diaper bag is packed. It's very important because I think there was this one time where we were stepping out. It was just brief. So no need to carry a diaper bag. I needed a diaper bag because those few minutes that were out, baby decided that, okay, this is my time to poop. I definitely do a lot of unusual things for the baby, and it's interesting. I've actually come to enjoy doing it. I even do break dancing for her. No one sees me dance because I don't know how to dance, but I dance for my baby. I fool for my baby. I twirl for her. I don't even know how to. And then she looks at me and then she laughs, she giggles, and it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. I sing for her in different tones. I do voices for her. I can't even. But yes, I do crazy unusual things for baby. I tie. She likes bright colors. Baby likes bright colors. So at times I even tie my hair with bright colors just to display for her so she's happy. Yeah. I've been wondering if I'm doing the right thing. I tend to worry, like, does the worrying ever stop? I tend to worry whether I'm doing the right thing with the time I'm spending with her, doing little activities, or with trying to introduce her to new things, or with how much time I'm speaking to her, because they say, oh, try to speak to her so she picks that up, or I'm always second guessing myself, trying to figure out to understand if I'm doing the right thing. For me, that's one of the hardest part about raising her. And I also try to spend time I pray aloud with her. I read the Bible aloud to her because it's very important to me that she grows up to have a great and strong relationship with Christ. Very important to myself and my husband. So we go through that a lot. Personally, that's one of the most challenging things for me. Just the thoughts of whether I am doing the right thing. There's other things, other little things where she probably coughs or something little. I think it all has to do with worrying about if something is going wrong or something is going right. Yeah, it's still early stages for us, 6 months. But then for now, those are like the most challenging things for me. It's just so much of the things that I've learned and all the love that I feel. You carry a little person and then I feel so much love. I feel so much. I don't even know how to explain it. I look at her and then she looks at me and she smiles, and then the smile almost says like, you're my everything. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that expression that doesn't come with words or anything. Yeah, for me.
So we have 15 more to go.
Okay. 15 more questions?
Yes.
Okay.
So, my next question. We are very grateful to have you here and to have left your baby and talking to us. We are done. Grace, 15 more questions.
I was like, hey, madam.